My God. It's full of shit.
Type. Pointless album. Released the 11th of May 2018, in a Turkish prison. Tested on political prisoners. Rate your mucus rating. 3.25 out of 5.0 stars, from 96 ratings. Most of these 96 are cheese sniffers. Friends. 2.25 from 2 ratings. 2.25? Still way too high. Ranked. 711 for 2018. It would be in the top 10, if only this band were hipster approved. Genres. Cheese metal, pop, generic corporate rock. Descriptors. Lame, dull, copy-paste, corny, ultra-commercial, One Direction, primitive rock, samey, predictable, plastic, awful, dung, toilet, polluted, large supplies of toilet paper, political torture, fake passion, pseudo-rock, pseudo-metal, pseudo-everything. All I hear is crap. Sevendust. Speaking of war, these shitty songs could torture POWs like no other crap. If the US military pays the band royalties for every time they make a prisoner or terrorist divulge secrets essential to the nation's security, Sevendust should be millionaires in no time, and judging from this corporate-sounding hooey, money is all they are after. I hear Putin and the Chinese have already purchased their CDs, well, the Russians got them from free torrents, and are scrambling to use these inhumane tunes, as quickly as possible, on some poor luckless bastards imprisoned by them. Sevendust, I mean, is after the money, not millionaires. It's a given that millionaires are after money, so it is, in fact, highly fucking ironic, that these probably politically correct cheesemakers are such virtue-signaling peaceniks. I mean, the title? All I See Is War. Sounds like typical whiny, boo-hoo-hoo, the world is such a mean place baloney. If you actually need Sevendust pins to tell you that there be war everywhere, homie, then you must be either 6 years old, or you must be as mentally challenged as that squishy, tiny, useless ball of grey dirt, nestled inside Sean Penn's almost totally vacuum-sealed head. Besides, it's not even true. Sweden hasn't been in a war for over 150 years. Admittedly, they sided with the Nazis during World War II. If you live in Honolulu, then war is hardly all you see. Unless you really just focus only on walruses battling it out over who gets to hump the nastiest, fattest female. Now, that is war. Also, if you live in Honolulu and spend hours watching Rambo movies, instead of surfing on walrus butts, then you'll be seeing plenty of war, too. Fake Hollywood war, but war nonetheless. But to be fair, the singer is probably saying what he sees everywhere, which, for some reason, is war. The fact that he sees war everywhere must mean he is a war correspondent working, that is making up stuff, for CNN. Right? Or, perhaps, I should use that wise adage, or whatever the hell that sort of thing is called, that people see what they want to see. So if he only sees war, then that perhaps means he wants to see war, hence he likes war. That could indicate a latent, violent personality lurking beneath that deceptive liberal do-gooder exterior. Shocker. We've certainly never seen that before. A violent left-winger? Impossible. Or, maybe, he spends too much time on his game console, or whatever the fuck that thing is called, so he is having hallucinations. Wherever he goes, he is seeing muscular, steroid-pumped warriors lopping off each other's heads. Who knows? I could go on and on about this. Whatever his reason for seeing war everywhere, if he wants to avoid seeing war everywhere, all he has to do is stop voting for Democrats every time. or start looking at his pecker. The world may be in a perpetual state of war, but surely his penis is sitting in his pants peacefully, very much blissfully unaware of the harsh outside world. Mine is. At least last time I checked, which was a few minutes ago. Looking at his own peaceful, non-war involved penis might have a soothing effect on the singer of this shitty band, who seems to be so awfully traumatized by war. Who knows, maybe after he has stared long enough at his one-eyed warrior, the next Sevendust album might be called All I See Is Serenity. Or perhaps simply All I See Is Semen. Nice wordplay potential there. That really depends on a number of factors, which might or might not include his girlfriend, wife, significant other, or his own right hand. Speaking of warriors and war, why do they call it the one-eyed warrior? Whoever came up with that bloody, silly nickname? Penises are essentially pacifist creatures. In fact, they are so refreshingly apolitical. All they ever seek is love, they are fixated on it, hence have no time to fight. And with what would they fight? They are unarmed. They are unarmed, unlegged, and love-based. Can't we all just finally learn to learn from them? They are wise. It's bad enough the metal scene is full of all that cliché dragons and demons and serial killers bullshit, but when bands start SJWing, commenting on how bad the world is, because everyone is so mean to each other, then you might as well give me the freaking Dixie Chicks instead, because they are no worse, either intellectually, politically, or even musically. And that's the real issue here, actually. The shitty music. I don't give a hoot about the lyrics, or the message. If the music were good, all the snowflakism would be forgiven. But it's not. Their bullshit Scandi message is pure divinity compared to the sonic junk they unload directly from their posteriors, and onto our ears. I don't appreciate having my ears crapped at, but I know who's to blame in this case. This album was suggested by Devin Townsend on his Twitter account. God only knows why. Devin may be a genius in creating what is some of the most fantastic music I have ever heard, but when it comes to appraising or judging other people's material, he's just as lost and confused as the majority out there. It's not the first time I notice him listening to, or liking, or suggesting to his fans utter crap. I have absolutely no bloody clue what exactly it is that he hears in this trash that is even remotely pleasing to his refined, superior ears. In fact, this is such a mystery, that I need to at least attempt to solve it. How does a brilliant musician enjoy listening to shit music? How does that even work? It's preposterous that he takes time out from writing new material, which he's been doing for weeks now, as of this writing, to listen to this kind of worthless grot. I'd been using the words crap and shit so often, I had to Google garbage synonyms to find exciting, new insulting words for shitty music, hence grot. There I go again. I just used the word shitty instead of something newer and fresher. What a waste of time. I'm amazed that he listens to such muck, then goes into the studio and records all that great music. Hang on. I have a theory. It's almost as though he takes in fertilizer for the brain, in a sense, which then miraculously turns into great tunes. The wonders of nature's alchemy, shit into gold, and all that stuff. He vacuums in Sevendust, Nomen, Estomen, then ejects great music, a while later. The miracle of birth. After all, the sperm and the eggy-weggy are completely useless on their own, so they are for all practical purposes junk, but when they unite they create a human being. We can find several examples of shit creating something wondrous, in nature. Admittedly, most humans are so pathetic, that the creation of each one is hardly a phenomenally wondrous event, hardly something to get excited about, especially when so-called Hollywood royalty create offspring. That's when creation really screws up. Have I solved the mystery? You tell me. This horrible ultra-commercial music is metal light pop rock with somewhat distorted guitars, basically. It shares a lot more similarities with Nickelback, Avril Lavigne and Hootie's Blowfish, than Jane's Addiction or Faith No More. I mean, if this is supposed to be alternative metal, then I'm Bozo the serial killing clown from the Thor Nebula. And I've never even been to any nebula, unless Earth is inside a nebula, and I have never dressed as a clown before. At least not intentionally. In fact, this music has zippo, zilcho, nullito to do with 90s alternative metal, because it has little to do with metal, and it has nothing to do with being an alternative to anything. An alternative to horse manure, maybe? I did mention that their main G music can be used as fertilizer. Townsend absolutely proves that. If a band sounds just like the mainstream, then how is it an alternative? To what? Commercial crap can be an alternative to commercial crap? Who the fuck makes up these idiotic claims? The tunes are extremely generic and predictable, and all the songs are clones of each other. You hear one, you know them all. This is conveyor belt corporate junk. Absolute garbage. There is nothing here, except powerful fertilizer for infinitely more gifted songwriters. Or did someone perhaps hack Townsend's Twitter account? Him liking such garbage? That just can't be right.
I think you owe us an apology, obscure YouTube reviewer.
Damn straight.
Who the fuck does he think he is?
An apology? No fucking way, guys. Forget it. You can't organize a military assault on a person's ears and then ask for quick forgiveness. In other words, you can't try to euthanize the musical half of my brain and then expect to get away with it. Tell you what. You publicly admit to making cheese, with the intent to destroy innocent people's ears with corny commercial cheese, and I will. Or rather, I might, consider apologizing. I shall now start practicing my apology, just in case you deliver on my demand that you first make that public apology, about making commercial shit with the intent to sell it as metal. My future apology. I, the great Quetty 100, metal guru extraordinaire and know-it-all irritant to hundreds of insecure hipsters, also barely known as Vjetrapef, an unpronounceable name for you Westerners, even less known as Ptopek, not to mention Marcos Dingsky, which is another hard-to-say name for many people, including this computer voice. I hereby apologize to the cheesy sellout rock band Sevendust for correctly pointing out to them that they should be ashamed of themselves for making awful garbage, which sounds like One Direction being sexually assaulted by a tennis racket. I am so sorry and deeply apologize for describing their shitty music as a good way to mentally amputate the brains of political prisoners, so I hope to never again mention the fact that their music is used by Devin Townsend as fertilizer for composing great new music. In fact, I shouldn't even have to apologize for the fertilizer comment, because that is a compliment for Sevendust twins. Making fertilizer, it's a smelly job, but someone's got to do it. Be proud. Sort of. There. How was that, guys? Do we have a deal then? All I see is a sincere apology. And now an apology to my 11 subscribers and 5 viewers. You might have noticed that I talked much more about Devin Townsend than Sevendust on a clip that was supposed to be only about Sevendust. I promise not to mention Townsend, nor to play any of his music, on this clip again.